Hey guys, how are we today? I want to talk about valuing your life in terms of health, money, and time, and how I arrived at that conclusion through my journey over the last 20 or 30 years. Because everyone tries to maximize money, and don't get me wrong, money is important, I found. We all need money to some degree, but maximizing money at the expense of time and your health, that may lead to a rich life, but not necessarily a wealthy life. And that's why I want to talk more in terms of wealth, which is a combination and a balance of health, money, and time, rather than the main term that everyone uses in life, which is rich. Essentially, rich is more associated with money. And you see it across social media all the time, that everyone is worshipping the billionaires. Well, that's fine, but in a sense, those billionaires probably sacrificed a huge amount of time and health to get to that position. And that's not for everyone. That's actually not for most people, to be honest. And it's not particularly realistic either, guys, in my experience and from everyone I know, because not everyone can be a billionaire. Not everyone can change the world. It's just not possible. You can't have 8 billion Elon Musks. And so if I just talk about my journey a bit more, that might help to expand on this and get you to understand where I'm coming from. So for example, over 20 years ago, I started out working in IT as a software engineer. Great job, challenging, fun. I spent lots of money, I worked hard, I play hard. Okay, that's what I did back then. And it was fun and well paid. And then I progressed further and further up because the mantra is generally, well, I want to move up in my career, right? I'm ambitious. And ambition is generally associated with being career driven, right? But what I started to find was that does ambition have to all be about career, right? So I progressed initially up to be a project manager in IT. I'm ambitious, right? I'm career driven, okay. But then what I started finding with time, slowly and slowly, was that used up more of my time. So over the course of many years, I had less time and less health. Slowly, my health started to erode, albeit that the money was increasing. Therefore, I started to realize that is life all about being career-driven, ambitious career-driven, and money, which is what most people think of it as. And as the stress started to kick in and the health started to erode and the time that I had with my friends and family started to erode, that's where the turning point came. Not coincidentally, really, but I suppose it's a bit coincidentally with COVID. And around the time of COVID, I suppose there was a little bit more stress in a sense, depending on what kind of industry you were working in. Because although the novelty of working from home was a great thing at first, I think it caused a lot of problems in the end for a lot of people. Isolation, inability to connect, and all sorts. And that was the turning point for me in project management, where the stress and the isolation and the health really began to take its toll. And so I decided after about 20 to 25 years in the IT corporate office industry to stop that, have a break, and do something different with my life that created a better balance of health, time, and money. And that, I believe, is the real key to wealth. Okay? And what I had to do is have real belief in myself. You see, a lot of people, they don't have belief and confidence in themselves. Okay? But if you, and I can talk about this in another video, but the belief and confidence, if you have it, then you can stop your job with no other job to go to, have belief and confidence in yourself that you'll get that next job, which I did, and most people inevitably would. That could take 3 or 4 months, but that gave me better health and more time, increasing my wealth overall. Yes, the money went down, but that 3 months out of work increased my health in a sense because I had more time to exercise, go to the gym, take walks each day, more time to actually prepare for interviews, more time to do other things like research companies if I invested in the stock market, for example. Okay, so yes, even if the money goes down a bit, it's balanced out by your increase in health and your increase in time, giving you an overall holistic total benefit of money plus health plus time, increasing your wealth. And that's what I started to see. And so I decided to work in the aquatic industry just part-time. I also got passive income from investing in shares over the last 15 or 20 years. And I decided to write a book, which also gets me some extra passive income. This blockchain book behind me, The Essential Guide to Blockchain Platforms. Very rewarding. And all these things, right? This variety of working in the aquatics industry, writing a book, doing other things, healthy things, getting passive income, researching companies to generate more passive income or increase my growth in the share market. That all came because I had more time. And as a result, that also increased my health. Yeah, that everything kind of goes hand in hand, especially when you have more time to focus on your health. And that more time also gives you time to do more research to increase your wealth by investing in the stock market or whatever it is you want to invest in. So my message for this video is there's a lot of high flyers out there trying to change the world, Elon Musk, Jensen Huang, whoever, big CEOs, and they are worshipped. And there's nothing wrong with those people trying to change the world. That is fine. But is it realistic for everyone to do that? No, not really. It's great to be ambitious and want to do things that change the world, but you don't have to change the world, right? You need to basically do something that changes or benefits yourself and those close to you. You don't have to change the whole world. Just change a few local friends and people that might be rewarded from the things you're doing. So for example, writing a book, which is what I did, benefited other people because they learned and they were educated from that. So that was a life of other people that I changed, just a few people close to me and beyond as I sold more copies of the book or educated people about investing and retelling my story and the steps that I've been through in life. Okay, so you don't have to affect everyone. You just need to affect a few people, and then those few people can affect a few more. That's a more realistic, grounded approach rather than trying to maximize money, maximize your career progression to get to the very top in the name of what? Career ambition. But then what is ambition? Ambition can be spending more time with your friends and family. That's actually quite ambitious nowadays with all the mental health issues and everything else, right? That is ambition, actually, right? Getting more healthy is ambitious. Having more time is ambitious. You see what I'm saying? So ambition does not have to all be about increasing your richness, your money, or having more boats and houses, and that doesn't have to be your ultimate ambition. Those things may come naturally over time as you focus on your health and your time. That those rewards may well come naturally. They may or may not, but they may well do, okay? But they shouldn't be necessarily your end goal. The main thing is enjoy the journey of what you're doing, writing a book, or generating passive income by researching in the stock market, or whatever you enjoy doing, right? Doing that part-time job like what I'm doing in the aquatics industry, which is fun and it's healthy, and I get to talk to other people and they can learn swimming tips off me, for example, or whatever, right? Enjoy that journey And then those other rewards, those other materials, should you want them, may well come naturally, okay? So you don't necessarily have to chase the goal, but you chase the journey. The journey is where you spend most of your time in life, right? Enjoy the journey, and the goal may well naturally happen, but you don't have to ultimately stress yourself going for that goal, trying to get to the top of that mountain. Just enjoy the journey, traveling up or along the mountain, and then see what comes, and you may well find great rewards come with it. Now, on my point about big CEOs, like Elon Musk or whoever, for as successful as they are they actually really healthy, right? Do they have lots of time? I would say probably not. I don't know them personally, but I have heard stories of Elon Musk sleeping 4 hours in his office. Is that healthy? To what? Change the world? I have no problem in a way. They can do that, but I'm not doing that, right? And it's not realistic that everyone could cope with that anyway. So you don't have to think that what they're doing is a realistic thing that you could do, right? You have to tune to your own strengths, right? And even Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, says many times that he's always got his laptop on his lap. He's never away from his laptop. He's always working. Is that something to celebrate? Maybe for him, but that's not for everyone. That's probably not for most people. Is that healthy? Right? How much time are these guys really spending with their friends and family? So whereas they may have maximum richness, I would say that the overall wealth, in a sense, may not be as maximum as what you think. It probably does take a big toll on their health and their time. In general, to get to that position, you would most likely need to sacrifice health and time, okay, in most cases. What I'm saying is to create a balance of health, time, and money to get overall total wealth, right? Rather than maximizing one. That's the key to the balance in life, okay? It is not realistic to think that you can be a billionaire. If you love what you do and you are having great time and health, and naturally you become a billionaire, which I don't think is particularly realistic, then great. But that isn't realistic for most people, guys. So you can have enough money, doesn't have to be obscene amounts, a nice amount of time and a nice amount of health that gives you the overall wealth. Okay, so that's my final message, is you want to do something that's realistic within your frame, within your ability, okay, create a balance in life, and that's been massively beneficial to me and my health and my time, and rewards will generally naturally come as you get that balance and enjoy what you do more, because now you're not under the same pressure with deadlines left, right, and center and everything else. Now, some people love that, right? I would say the majority of people don't, and they don't love their 5-day or 6-day-a-week job. They do it to make ends meet. They do it living paycheck to paycheck, right? But create that balance, and you will find that over time, your wealth and even money component of that wealth may well increase, because you've got more time to do more research, to invest properly, to make better educated decisions, okay? And that is what it's all about. Making educated decisions and having the time and the headspace and the health to do that. I will come back and elaborate a little bit on some of this in a future video, but I think for now, that should be enough, and have a great day, guys.